Hi, let's answer some math problems from the Ultimate UPCAT Prep. I'll give you the link below if you want to download the copy of this reviewer online. So going to page 91, we have mathematics. So for the question number 1, a scuba diver descends 80 feet, rises 25 feet, descends 12 feet, and then rises 52 feet, where he will do a safety stop for 5 minutes before surfacing. At what depth did he do this safety stop? Okay, so for number 1, let's use the negative sign for when he descends and positive sign for when he goes up or rises. So that's negative 80 plus 25 minus 12 plus 52. Okay, so just a quick suggestion, when you're answering math problems, I suggest you practice the arithmetic part, okay, instead of using a calculator. So negative 80 and negative 12, I like to add similar signs. Negative 90 and negative 12, so that's negative 92, positive 25 and positive 52, so that's positive 77. Negative 92 plus positive 77 is equal to negative 15. So the answer is letter A, negative 15. For number 2, evaluate the algebraic expression. So y times x minus 2 minus 3 minus 4a. When a is equal to 3, x is equal to 6, and y is equal to 1/2. So what you're going to do here is you're going to substitute these values into the expression. So y is equal to 1/2. So you're going to write 1/2. X is equal to 6. So that's 6 over 2 instead of x over 2. Minus 3. Minus 4. And on a, you're going to write 3 since a is equal to 3. Okay. So solve this one first. 6 over 2, that's equal to 6 divided by 2 is equal to 3. So 3 minus 3 is equal to 0 minus 4 times 3. What is 4 times 3? 4 times 3 is 12. So now we have 1/2 of 0 minus 12. That's equal to 1/2 negative 12 of negative 12. So 1/2 times negative 12 is equal to negative 6. So the answer is letter D. Y x over 2 minus 3 minus 4a is equal to negative 6. Number 3. If x is an even integer and y is an odd integer, which of the following must be an odd integer? So in order to solve number 3, you have to review some concepts first. So let's use E for even and O for odd. Okay, so when you're adding on and subtracting two even numbers, the answer is always an even number. How about if you're adding or subtracting odd numbers? The answer is always an even number also. How about if you're adding or subtracting odd and even numbers? The answer is always an odd number. Okay, how about multiplication? When you're multiplying or dividing even numbers, the answer is always an even number. Okay, when you multiply or divide odd numbers, the answer is always an odd number. How about when you multiply an even and an odd number? The answer is always an even number. Okay, so taking note of these, we're gonna answer number 3. So if x is an even integer and y is an odd integer, which of the following must be an odd integer? So let's check all the options. Letter A, 2x plus 2y. 2 is an odd or an even number? It's an even number, so let's write letter E. Times x, excuse me, times x, which is an even number, plus 2, which is an even number, times y, which is an odd number. So multiplying two even numbers will result to an even number. So E times E is equal to E. How about an even number times an odd number? The answer is also an even number. So here we have an even number plus an even number, which will result to an even number. So letter A is not the answer. Letter B, 2x minus 2y. 2 is an even number, x is an even number, minus an even number times an odd number, sorry. This will yield an even number, this one will yield an even number. So an even number minus an even number will result to an even number. B is also not the answer. Letter C, x plus y plus 1. Okay, so x is an even number, y is an odd number, plus 1, which is an odd number. Adding even and odd number will give you an odd number, plus an odd number. So adding two odd numbers will give you an even number. So C is also not the answer. By method of elimination, we can already conclude that D is the answer. However, for the sake of this video, let's check. So if x is an even number, plus y, an odd number, plus 2, which is an even number, let's check if this will result to an odd number. Even plus odd will give you an odd number, plus even. So odd plus even, or even plus odd, will also give you an odd number. So indeed, the answer is letter D. Okay, number 4. 35% of 15% of x is equivalent to which of the following? So how do you solve for this? Of actually means to multiply. Okay, so 35% of 15% of x. Okay, so first we need to convert to decimal number. So in order to do that, we're either gonna divide it by 100 or simply move the decimal point 2 units to your left. Okay, so for 35 becomes 0.35. For 15% it becomes 0.15 times x. Okay, again, let's practice our arithmetic. So 0.35 times 0.15, 25, carry 2, 15, 17, 5, 3, 5, 2, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 decimal places. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then decimal point. So the answer is 0.0525, which is letter A. Number 5. A farmer has a rectangular field that measures 125 feet by 200 feet. He wants to enclose the field with a fence. What's the total length in feet he will need for the job? So here, we're basically being asked to solve for the perimeter. Okay. So what's the formula for solving the perimeter? 2 times width plus 2 times the length. Okay, so the width is equal to 125 and the length is equal to 200. So 2 times 125 plus 2 times 200 will give you 650. So the answer here is letter C, 650 feet. Okay, so for number 6, a farmer is raising a hog that weighed 20 pounds. 20 pounds when he bought it. He expects it to gain 12 pounds per month. He will sell it when it weighs 200 pounds. How many months will it be before he will sell the animal? 200 pounds. So let X be equal to the number of months. Okay, so there are a lot of ways to solve this problem, but personally, I prefer expressing it into an algebraic expression. So how do we do that? 20 pounds plus the rate, which is 12 pounds per month, times the number of months will equal to 200 pounds. Okay, so let's solve for X. First, let's subtract 20 from both sides. So if I subtract 20 from here, they will cancel out. So you're left with 12x is equal to 200 minus 20. 12x is equal to 180. X is therefore equal to 15. Another way to solve this is, if the goal is 200 pounds, how many more pounds does the hog need to gain? So 200 minus 20 pounds is equal to 180 pounds. So if it gains 12 pounds per month, 100 pounds per month is equal to 12 pounds per 1 month. Cross multiplying, the answer is also equal to 15 months. Okay, so that's letter B. Okay, so number 7. 25 more girls than 2/3 of the number of boys participate in the interscholastic sports at the local high school. If the number of girls participating is 105, how many boys participate? Okay, so let X be equal to the number of boys who participated. Number of boys. Okay, so number of girls is equal to 105. What is the relationship between number of girls and number of boys? Okay, going back to the first statement, 25 more girls, so that's plus 25, than 2/3 of the number of boys. 2/3 then the number of boys, which is X. 2/3 plus 25. So this is the number of girls who participated, which is also equal to 105. So this is the expression that we're going to use in order to solve for the number of boys. 2/3 X plus 25 is equal to 105. Subtracting 25 from both sides, 2/3 X is equal to 105 minus 25, $80. So 80 times 3, that's 240. 240 divided by 2, that's 120. So X is equal to 120. So there are 120 boys who participated. Letter C. Okay, so now we have a geometry problem. So these are for questions 8 to 13. Okay. Line L, line N intersecting line L at point A. And then we have line O. Then we have line M, which is at right angle to line N. Okay, so for number 8, how many lines can be drawn through point A that are parallel to line M? So by definition, lines that are parallel should be on the same plane. So in this case, there can only be one line passing through point A that is parallel to line M. So the answer for number 8 is letter B, 1. Number 9. How many lines can be drawn through point A that are perpendicular to line L? So comparing this to the question in number 8, parallel lines should be on the same plane. However, for perpendicular lines, they do not necessarily mean that these lines are on the same plane. So let's say line L is this pen, and this is point A. If I have a plane at point A that is perpendicular to line L, multiple lines can actually be drawn on that plane that is perpendicular to line L. So the answer for number 9 is letter D, infinite. Number 10. Which lines are perpendicular? So this is pretty obvious. For number 10, lines M and N are 90 degrees apart, meaning these two lines are perpendicular. So the answer is letter A, N and M. Number 11. How many points do line M and line L share? So when two lines intersect, they can only intersect at one point. So meaning L and M can only share one common point unless they are collinear. So the answer for number 11 is letter B, 1. Number 12. Point A is letter A between lines L and N, on lines L and N, C on line L but not line N, and D on line N but not line L. So this is pretty obvious. Point A is on lines A and L, letter B. Okay, so for number 13, which set of lines are transversals? By definition, a transversal line is a line that intersects two lines at two different points. So number 13. In this item, we have to check all the options. Letter A, L, M, and O. So let's check line L. Does line L intersect M and O at different points? No. Line L intersects both M and O at this point. So this is not the answer. Letter B, O, M, and N. Does O intersect M? Yes, at this point. How about N? Does O intersect N? No. So by definition, O is not a transversal of M and N. However, let's check line M. Does line M intersect N and O at different points? Yes. So we can say that M is a transversal of O and N, but O is not a transversal of M and N. So therefore, as a set, these are not transversals of one another. So B is also not the answer. Letter C, L, O, and N. Okay. We can check that L is a transversal of N and O, but N is not a transversal of L and O is also not a transversal of L and N. So therefore, this is not a set of transversals. So by method of elimination, we can already conclude that letter D is the answer, L, M, and N. But for the sake of this video, let's check. Does L intersect M and N at two different points? M, N. So yes. How about line M? Does line M intersect L and N at two different points? Intersects L, intersects N. So M is a transversal of L and N. How about N? Does N intersect line L and line M at two different points? Here and here. So N is a transversal line. So the answer is letter D. L, M, and N is a set of lines which are transversals.